Hello, everyone, and welcome to Recovery After Stroke. Before we dive into today's inspiring conversation, I want to thank you for being a part of this incredible community. Whether you're a stroke survivor, a caregiver, or somebody looking to understand the recovery journey more deeply, your presence here means a lot. More and more people are now finding this podcast while they're still in hospital, just days after being diagnosed with stroke. And that is exactly what I set out to achieve when I began this podcast back in 2015. To shorten the time between stroke and finding support from others who truly understand. This wasn't possible back then for me, but now it is. And it's happening because of every single guest who has shared their story, every listener who's left a comment, a review, or even just pressed play. Your support makes that reach possible. And with your help, we can keep expanding it. If you believe in what we're doing here and want to help cover the cost of production so we can keep bringing these important stories to the people who need them the most, please consider becoming a Patreon at patreon.com/recoveryafterstroke. Now, I'm honored to introduce today's guest, Adam Moore. Adam is a stroke survivor whose life changed dramatically after a carotid artery dissection following a hockey game. What began as a normal day ended with sudden vision loss, seizures, and an entirely new reality. In this episode, Adam shares what it's like navigating post-stroke fatigue, dealing with uncertainty, managing his recovery, and staying hopeful as a father and former business owner. His story is raw, honest, and full of insights that I know will resonate with many of you. Let's dive in. Adam Moore, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Bill.
My pleasure. Uh, so, the light is a bit of an issue for you, and hence this is going to be a little bit darker, this recording. The overhead light can bother you, and it's on at the moment, but you try to avoid lights. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so straight after the stroke, well, when the stroke happened, I was actually blind in one eye to start with, and then I lost sight in both eyes. But then the following morning, I woke up and could see again, thank goodness. But after that, it just seemed I had to wear sunglasses all the time or an eye mask because I just couldn't look at any lights at all. It was really, really affected.
What kind of a stroke did you have?
Ischemic. Is that how you say it?
Yeah,
Ischemic?
something like that. Ischemic, yeah.
Yeah.
And where was it located if it affected both your eyes?
So it's right hand side. So um, it was a carotid artery dissection, right
Ah,
hand side. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Was it the
It's
carotid artery?
carotid artery. That's right. Yes, yes.
How did the dissection occur? Are
Uh,
you aware of an injury or anything that you sustained?
yes. So it was back in September 2023. I was a normal day at work. It was the hottest day of the year. Quite a busy day at work. Um, no different to normal, but I play ice hockey and roller hockey. I have done for over 30 odd years, and I had a hockey game scheduled for that evening, and I came home from work that night, and I had a sort of gut feeling. I wasn't sure if I should be playing that night, and I said to my wife and my son, "I'm not sure if I really want to go tonight." And they both looked at me and said, "Well, that's not like you. You always want to play." And I do. I loved playing. Um, and they said, "You can't let your teammates down," and which is another good point. And I'm a bit of a team player, so yeah. And I didn't really think it was a good sort of, well, it's not really a good way of teaching your son either, is it, to let your teammates down? So I went, and I should have listened to my gut, really, because I shouldn't have gone. I went, and yeah, it was roller hockey and ice hockey is a very physical game. It's full contact. It's a great game. Don't get me wrong. It's very exciting, but it was full on. Um, I took a knock to the neck, which I didn't think anything of, Bill, because it wasn't it wasn't a trauma at all. It was just a slight knock. Um, I carried on playing the game, and I started to see some sort of like almost orbs in my eyesight. Um, but I was giving it my everything, like I do in work and life and sports, and I carried on playing. Um, just thought I'd overexerted myself, like you do when you exercise and you start to see sort of stars in your eyes. Um, Even managed to score a goal, finished the game. Um, had a bit of banter with the lads in the change room. Got showered, changed. Um, Jumped in my van, put all my kit away, and the kit bags are huge with all that gear in it. Um, I was giving my friend a lift home. It was about an hour and 30 minutes home drive. And on the drive home, again, my eyes, the street lights were sort of haloing and the other car lights were haloing. And that's the only thing that I could think this is a bit strange. I'm not happy about this. There was no other, nothing else. I showered, I could carry everything. There was nothing, was like none of my limbs were not working. I wasn't falling over or anything. Um, Drove all the way home, dropped my friend off. I must admit, by then I was actually thinking, I'm not sure if I should drive. Perhaps I should get him to drop me home. But I did drive. I drove really, really carefully home. Drove into my own driveway, pulled up, got out of the van, didn't fall out of the van, got out of the van, locked it up, walked into my house, walked up the stairs, got to my bedroom, and my wife was awake. And she said, "Are you okay?" I said, "No, I don't feel very well. My eyes just don't feel right." And our wives are sometimes paracetamol and a glass of water, they think seems to,
Solve everything.
sort everything. Um, so she gave me that, and I got into bed and I fell asleep for, um, well, what was literally a minute or so, and I couldn't see out of one eye. Just lost the vision completely. Um, and then I fell asleep again for another 5 minutes and woke up, couldn't see a thing out of both eyes, and that was really scary, really, really scary. Um, Managed to get to the bathroom, sat on the toilet, um, went to get off the toilet, and then collapsed. And that's when she realised I was having a stroke.
Hmm.
I'd not known about strokes, nor had she. So we were kind of a little bit sort of, yeah, a bit blasé about it all. But she
Hmm.
phoned an ambulance, and they sort of confirmed. I think I'd had a little bit of sort of slurred speech by then, but the fact I couldn't stand up, and I was quite a strong person, and I was doing my damnedest to try and get up, and I could not get up.
Hmm.
The ambulance took a long time to get out to me. I ended up going to Southampton General Hospital, um, but because of the distance of where I was playing the game and the amount of time the ambulance took to get to me, we live quite out in the New Forest, which is quite out in the sticks, and I was well out of the TPA time, unfortunately.
Uh-huh.
And I was begging them to give me the TPA shot, but they said it could do more harm than good, so we really can't give you it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, like they say, time, more damage.
Yeah. Your gut instinct. That's an interesting thing.
I know, I
Had you ever
know.
experienced that before? That kind of
I've heard you talk about, the brain gut or the gut brain.
the gut brain, yeah.
Um, yeah, and to be honest, Bill, I've had it before. I had a holiday in the Maldives before, and I was poorly then, and had a fall and concussed myself. And at the airport at Heathrow, before we flew out, I had the same gut feeling that I shouldn't be going. And we had a horrific time out there as well. So yeah, there's something to say for it, I think. There really
Yeah.
is.
Let's take a moment here to reflect on Adam's story so far. From carotid artery dissection to life-altering recovery, his experience reminds us of how suddenly life can change and how strength can emerge even in the most unexpected places. If this podcast has been meaningful to you, one simple way to support it is by not skipping the ads. It may seem small, but it genuinely helps offset production costs and allows me to keep bringing you more episodes like this one. And for those of you who'd like to go further, please consider joining us on Patreon at patreon.com/recoveryafterstroke. Your support helps ensure these stories keep reaching those who need them most, right from the very beginning of their recovery. Now, let's get back to Adam's story and hear how he's continuing to push forward in the face of so many challenges. There is definitely something to say for it. Do you think maybe, well, you can't, it's also, you can't really say until the thing that you thought you shouldn't be doing turned bad. Like it's such a difficult thing to get your head around, right? It's your head that's trying to make sense of this sensation or this feeling or this feedback that you're getting from your gut. And then it only turns to shit when it's turned to shit. Like, and then
Yes,
you
it's
kind of
too
do,
late.
yeah. And then you kind of go, oh, I should have listened to my gut. But like, how do you do that? How do you actually
Yeah.
do that? And what would you have done? Not played, sat on the sidelines, missed the game. You wouldn't have had the neck injury, and then you wouldn't have had a stroke, and then you would have known. How would you have known that it was the right decision to stay?
Wouldn't. I could have had a car crash on the way up there. You never know, do you?
Yeah, yeah,
You just don't.
yeah. So it's just
Oh,
bizarre and
yeah,
strange.
it is
And then
so bizarre.
how long did you spend in hospital? And then what
Three
were you
months.
dealing with? 3 months.
Yes, 3 months. I was in Southampton General, and then I went to Lymington, um, which is a hospital in the New Forest, which was very nice. And then I ended up in a rehab ward in a place called Snowdon in Southampton.
Hmm.
But then I realised I had private healthcare, so I ended up going to a very, very good hospital in London,
Hmm.
where I was up there for a good 3 weeks, and I managed to get home before Christmas of 2023.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What kind of deficits were you being rehabilitated to overcome? Or
Well, I lost all my left side really.
hmm.
Luckily, my speech wasn't lost because it was my right side. My speech was fine. My eyesight, as I say, was affected,
Hmm.
peripheral vision, and I've lost a bit of normal sort of this bit. My right eye's a bit blurry. I can see Bill, but I can't see as well as I used to.
Yeah, yeah.
But saying that, I'm not blind. I was blind that night. I couldn't see a thing.
Hmm.
And I got a train up the other day to London to go to Queen's Square Upper Limb, which I'm on their books at the moment to go up for treatment. And
Hmm.
there was a chap that he must have been 70, 80 on the train with me. And he was completely blind with a cane, a walking stick, a white cane. And I just thought, wow, he's completely blind and he's getting the train up on his own.
Mm.
I can see. I can actually see. Yes, I can't see as well, but I can see.
Mm.
So there's
Yeah,
always someone, worse.
yeah. And
But
getting on with business as well. Supposedly worse
yeah,
according to you, and
yeah,
then getting on with business. No, what are they going to do? Just sit in the house and, I don't know, wait for the years to go by?
yeah, yeah.
What about your left side? What's it like now? How does it feel?
Well, I see a private physio that's a neuro physio who's amazing. He's got me on my feet. I walk with a walking stick, but I can walk without it as well. Just not. I'm building up my stamina, to be honest, to walk further without it. I would like to I used to run. I loved running. I used to be very, very active. Um, got my own business. So yeah, I really want to get back to some sort of a good recovery. And I will push myself as much as I can to do that. I've
Mm.
got an 11-year-old boy, so yeah, I've got to recover, and I will. It will take time, but I'm going to push and push and push.
What line of work are you in?
So it's car repairs, body work on cars. I don't know if you've heard of a dent man.
I have.
If you've got a nice new car and someone opens their door and puts a ding in it, I come along and just massage the dent out.
I
And
think that's
you
magic.
never know it was there. Yeah,
That's magic. That's magician work there, mate.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love that stuff.
I really miss it as well. I loved my job. Absolutely loved it. It was a real good craft.
Yeah. So that's been 2 years. You've been, um, well, almost,
It'll be 2 years in September. Yeah,
yeah, that you've been out of action,
yeah.
and things are progressing. You're finding that things are improving, but it's been a long haul.
I couldn't move my leg. I couldn't move my arm. I can move both now. I can't move my fingers yet, but things are progressing very
Hmm.
slowly, but they're progressing. So,
Hmm.
um, some people say, I've had physio say to me, "Your arm's not working now; it'll never work," which is wrong, and it pushes my other physio to make it work, which is great, and pushes me as well. Um, but yeah, it's I'm quite a determined, positive person. So, and
Mm.
even my eyesight, I've had people say it's nerve damage. It's never going to come back once the nerve damage is done. And it might not, but it also might. People have also said that
Mm.
people's eyesight have improved over time. So,
Yeah, you're in a really early stage of recovery, and I don't know anything about your condition. I'm not a doctor, so this is not medical advice or anything like that, but there is definitely a possibility to hold on to hope. And I'm not sure how much that moves people who hear it. There is hope. I don't know. I get it. But you're only about 18 months in, and then there's a lot to go, like so much. There's areas in the brain that are still inflamed that are getting um, better and healthier. Inflammation is continuing to decrease. More and more things will come online. And yes, with rehabilitation and you're going after it, that's also supporting the potential for um, a recovery. And then you're you've got sounds like your neurophysio
yeah.
is the right guy, the right person on the
Oh, he is.
team.
And he said to me the other day, which made me feel great. He said, "You're still recovering."
Yeah.
He said, "You're still recovering. You're making improvements still. You're not plateaued. You're still recovering.
Mm,
So,
mm.
you just got to be patient." And I'm not patient. That's the problem.
Ah,
And
okay.
no one is these days in this world. We're all so impatient. We just want everything now,
Yeah.
um, and it's
And
so
yet,
difficult.
you have most likely put in the hard yards in another one of your pursuits before, where you had no choice but to be patient, even though maybe psychologically your head was going, oh, let's get this done or let's get this sorted. You have to go through the motions of whatever, the steps are to get to the particular place that you want to get. Like playing um, the sport that you're playing at 47, it, you don't become that, you don't have that capability without doing lots of training, lots of all these things, to get on the field and to be there with your teammates. You have to go through a process, and patience is not, and patience must is inherent. Like it is part of the whole business. And so is this. When you look back and reflect, you'll see that that was probably the best skill for you to learn, the patience.
Oh,
The less time you focus on why hasn't this happened yet, and the more time you focus on let me do everything I can to make it happen, the more your progress will um, continue and improve. And it's just about um, being able to then reflect back since 2023 and go, okay, look how far I've
oh,
already come.
yeah, I was hoisted out of bed to the loo and everything. I
Yeah.
felt, when you see a bit of meat on a hook in a
Yeah.
butcher's, that's how I felt. I
Yeah.
felt absolutely horrendous.
Mm.
It really, I did just feel awful. And I remember saying to my parents, all I want to do is get to the toilet and back on my own. I just want to do that. I don't want to be moved around on a bloody hoist. It was
Mm.
awful. But the stroke was quite bad, so I ended up with quite a lot of scar tissue,
Mhm.
and I ended up having seizures after that, and that was horrendous. Anyone that has seizures after a stroke, you just
Mm.
got to feel for them because it was just well, my wife left me because of it because she couldn't cope with looking after me.
Uh-huh.
through it because it really was. Well, my son and her found me grey in bed. I'd had a seizure and stopped breathing. They thought they'd lost me, so it freaked them both out. But
Hmm.
thankfully, the medication has has balanced now. But that's taken months to balance that out. It wasn't a quick fix in that. It had to be done out of over such a long period of time,
Hmm.
taking you off one drug and getting you onto another. So
So you're
yeah, it's
so you're dealing with stroke, you're dealing with seizures, and your
epilepsy.
wife,
Yeah,
and then your wife,
yeah,
your relationship ending.
yep, yeah.
It's a lot for one person to go through all in
Oh,
such a
it's
short amount of
been
time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's been horrendous. Yeah,
And are
yeah.
you living on your own now?
No, I live with my parents. They've been living with me because of the seizures. I've not been able to live on my own. But
Ah.
now the seizures seem to have stopped. I will be. I've got the right house and I've got um things in things in line where I've got a full line and contact lines and stuff like that in case I need people. So yeah, things are looking up, but it's
Hmm.
just taken so long. Like everything but stroke, it's just
Yeah.
such a long drawn out, you know.
They're certainly not like smashing your toe on the coffee table and then being okay
No,
a day later. It's definitely not
no,
like that.
no, no.
And you've
It's
had heaps of injuries, I imagine, in the sport that you play. So, you have a sense of, well, I've got to be sidelined for a few weeks and then things will heal and then I'll recover and then I'll get
wow.
back to it.
Although I played full contact games for over 30 years.
Mm.
To be honest, until the stroke, I'd never been in hospital. I've been very, very lucky,
Hmm.
very fit and healthy. Yeah, no, no underlying health issues. So
Hmm.
yeah, I have been quite lucky up until, but I don't consider myself lucky at all now. None of it's lucky. Lucky to be alive, yeah, but that's it.
Mm. Lucky to have your vision.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
There's a bit of luck there. I know that
yeah,
it's not the kind of situation you want to find yourself in, and then kind of like it's terrible. Like the hit on the neck, it's a such a precision hit to get the particular outcome that it got. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's just
Well, I didn't realize how deep the carotid artery is.
yeah,
It's not on the
surface.
surface. It's quite deep.
Yeah.
Because I was worried about even like sleeping on it or like
Uh,
I don't know, just even leaning your head over on it, whether it would upset it. Because I was told I couldn't have any deep tissue massages this side or anything,
yeah, fair enough.
or see a chiropractor. But they said no, it is quite deep. You'd have to do something, and you'd have to have another trauma or something like that. Because you hear
Mm.
about people having like I don't know, like
Neck manipulations and having their
yeah,
carotid artery
yeah,
damaged. Yeah.
yeah, or even that headbed thing for the
Yeah, yeah,
salon and stuff like that.
yeah. Going to the
Yeah,
hairdresser. Yep, absolutely.
yeah,
Or experiencing whiplash in a even a low speed vehicle collision.
yeah.
Yeah, and
But
it's just
the other thing as well is the dissected artery did heal,
ah
believe it
good.
or not. It healed, but it healed, and rather than just a straight line heal,
Okay.
it healed with a little sort of bulb in it.
Yep.
So they put me on blood thinners, and they worried that if I came off blood thinners, it might catch something in the bulb. I don't understand why they didn't put a stent in it, but they didn't. I don't know why. They said it wouldn't have helped, but
Yeah. I suppose the stent's another level of complication that then gets added to your medical
could cause
history.
another clot. Yeah,
Yeah. And then
yeah.
also, they've got to get it in there. And when you're in the position that you're in, probably the less intervention, the better. And the fact that it's healed is great. But yes, exactly. That little lump can create a change in the blood flow and create a little bit of low pressure in the artery. And as a result of that, cause a clot and then send it up. So
Or a
blood
calcium
thinners,
buildup. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So blood thinners are probably the best way to manage that because it's a smaller intervention and it's something that you can do for a very long time. Although it's not ideal, it's a really good outcome. And the
Mm.
fact that they didn't have to go in and do anything to your artery, I think that's a
Oh,
bonus.
yeah. I mean, I've met so many people. Um, I go to a lot of support groups,
Hmm.
different strokes, headway. Um, I've met some great people on forums as well. Um, some of the people in the rehab places that had craniotomies. Yeah, amazing people.
Hmm.
And they've kept in contact. I've seen them, and they don't even look like they've had anything done. And I
Mm.
saw them when they first had it done. It is amazing what they can do.
Hmm. The medical world is phenomenal. I mean, look, I don't know, maybe 50 years ago, you and I wouldn't be having this conversation if these
No,
things occurred to us. Do you know, like
no,
it's,
but also the. I mean, these people that had the well, it's a dent in the head. It was
yeah,
dipped
yeah.
in,
Their skull
and
removed.
and
Yeah,
and you could see how much it was affecting their confidence.
yeah,
It was almost like a bit of skin covering their brain up.
yeah,
It was,
yeah.
and you could see how it was affecting them. And then I saw him, same guy that I was in rehab with, in months later, and the smile on his face because
Mm,
he was back to normal. It was
mm,
just magical to see that. So nice to see it.
yeah.
I still see him now. It's brilliant. It's so good.
The head without the skull, without half a skull, is bizarre to me that they even concocted that theory and they made it
Yeah,
happen and proved to be successful and then put it back in. It's
yeah.
just the whole thing is just mind boggling. I can't wrap my head around
I
it.
was close.
Yeah,
I was close.
and I love the idea that that is a thing that they can do that, allow the brain
Yeah,
to expand or swell or whatever it's doing at that time, um, and then give it all the space to do what it needs to do, and then reattach it and protect it again. It's great.
yeah.
And the people doing that work, just think about the people doing that work.
Oh no.
The
Yeah,
the the stuff you have to be made of to be able to actually perform that procedure.
yeah. That's the worst headache. Was when my brain was swelling. It was just I remember saying,
Yeah.
I want an ice pack, I want an ice pack. I just could not get enough of them. I had family bringing in frozen peas to put on my head. I
Wow.
just could not get enough of them. It was crazy.
And have they settled down now?
Oh, I don't get them at all now. It was
Okay.
literally the first 24 hours. The
Ah,
first 24
okay.
hours was just, it's when your brain's just in shock and swelling. It's just
Mm,
too big for your skull.
mm-hmm,
It was
mm-hmm.
just awful. And they were close to sort of opening mine up to release the pressure, but luckily it did start to go down after a while.
Right, right.
Um,
How how do you get about your day now? What do you get up to? How does your day sort of look?
well, I struggle with fatigue. Fatigue is my biggest deficit.
Hmm.
It's huge. I can sleep fine. I sleep all night, but it's getting up in the mornings. I just cannot wake up. Um, I have to peel myself out of bed.
Hmm.
I'll even have a cold shower and I still can't wake up. I don't know. This is really a problem for me, fatigue.
Hmm.
Um, I used to bounce out of bed. I wouldn't even drink alcohol when I went out before the stroke because I'd hate to waste a day not being hungover and not doing anything.
Hmm.
But I just cannot get up now. It is so annoying.
Is it that you're not waking up or you're still tired? You need to sleep. What is it specifically? Do you know?
Yeah, I just can't seem to wake up. Yeah, I could just stay in bed all day,
Hmm.
tired. Not as in being lazy, just
Yeah,
tired.
I know. Fatigue.
Mm,
Yeah, completely
mm,
different. Neurologically tired.
mm.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then what does your day consist of? Are you still doing regular visits to rehab? How do you get through the day?
Yeah, yeah. I go twice a week to my private rehab.
Hmm. For an hour
Um,
each time?
yes, yes, which can be exhausting as well.
Hmm.
But I push myself to do that. Um, I was in a wheelchair, Bill, so I'm out of that now. And tonight I've been ten-pin bowling with my son.
Oh,
I mean, how cool is that?
that's cool. Okay.
And Thursday I was down the driving range hitting golf balls. So,
Okay, that's great, man.
and I love that. To be able to do something like that, which reminds me that I can do stuff. I still could do. It makes me feel normal doing stuff like that.
But rest and recovery is a massive part of your day,
Oh,
which
I know.
now you're conscious
I know.
about it, where before it was just kicking back, perhaps sitting on the couch, having a snooze, and then being fine the next morning. But whereas now it's like a thing that you have to actually navigate.
Yeah, I just it annoys me that I can't get up and even go out and wash the car or do stuff
Mm.
like that. Yeah, I miss work. I miss doing practical. I was very practical person, and I just can't do it at the moment, and it really gets to me. It really
So
does.
it's productivity. Like you want to be more
Yeah,
productive.
yeah. Even doing stuff around the house,
Mm,
you know, DIY, cleaning, whatever. I just can't
mm,
do it at the moment.
mm.
Lucky I've got my parents to help me.
Yeah, it will improve as your physical recovery improved. All this other recovery is also going to kick in and start helping and
I
working
hope the
better.
fatigue improves because that is
Yeah,
the biggest downer for me at the moment is the fatigue.
yeah. The fatigue was a big thing for me for a good probably couple of years, and then afterwards it was on and off, causing me a little bit of grief. Where if I uh, if I went and rode my bike on a Saturday morning, which I did, uh, then that was only 20 kilometers, which, might take, I don't know, an hour and a half, 2 hours with a rest in between. And because it wasn't like a full on ride, it was just a leisurely ride.
Yeah,
But when I'd get back, the rest of my day would be gone, wiped out, completely wiped out, spending
yeah,
from the morning till probably the evening recovering from that to be ready by the end of the day to potentially go to dinner or catch up with some friends or see somebody. And that I started to notice that my time of recovery shortened. So the amount of time I needed to recuperate after that bike ride shortened and shortened and shortened. And then it's at that point where now, from a 20-kilometer bike ride, which is nothing, uh, I could recover. I'd be sort of refreshed after about an hour, hour and a half. But it took
the thing
ages. Like
is,
it took years
yeah,
to get to that.
the thing is, you don't want it to stop you doing things because you've got to
Yeah.
recover after doing things.
Yeah.
You want to push yourself, but sometimes
Yeah.
it bites you in the backside, doesn't it?
Yeah.
For a week
Uh,
or so. Yeah.
But then I planned my day differently, right? So I planned, well, I'm going for a bike ride today, which means I need to have nothing booked in for the rest of the day. And that
Mm,
was worth it because I knew what wasn't going to miss out on my bike ride and I wasn't going to have to be anywhere else and suffer through that. So it worked well. And then a few times when we went to parties, when we had like family events or friends' birthdays or something, I knew I was going to be wrecked the next day. So there'd be nothing on the next day. We'd be like, "Can you get to our birth? Can you get to the birthday Saturday night?" Yeah, we'll be there. We'll probably leave a bit earlier than most other people,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
and that was great. But Sunday, there was just no plans. There was a write off. We're doing nothing. And then, if by some chance I felt up to it on Sunday afternoon, I might be up and about and do some stuff. So we kind of planned the recovery as part of the event that we needed to do, so that we never missed out on anything.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I try and do. Honestly.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
worked for us. your
Good.
your work, w- did you have to let go of all your clients and tell them that you're not available and they need to go elsewhere? How did
Uh,
that work?
it's difficult. I've got a very good business partner. Um, we had two businesses running, so he took one and I had the other. And I'm very lucky. I've got an employee who's very good, and he still works for me. Um, so he's ticking over the clients at the moment. I'd love to get back to it But that's my goal, to get back to it. Whether it's going out with him and helping him, or just going out with him and seeing the clients and just,
Mm,
you know, I don't know, making life a bit easier for him to get more done, or
yeah.
But I just don't know. This is the thing. You don't know how well you're going to recover.
Mm,
No one will put their head on the block and go, Adam, in 10 years you'll be fine.
no.
They just won't do it.
So,
Um,
so if
I
you
can
kind
think
of,
as positively as possible, but I just don't know.
yeah, if you put a couple of days aside, one day to do the to sit in the passenger seat with your employee and just drive around, and then the next day to recover, um, when the time's right, that might be kind of a good way to just sort of
Yeah,
give yourself the space to do the amount of recovery that you need to do, knowing that
yeah,
it might be really draining being at work for a day, even as just a accomplice.
yeah. It's annoying though, because without being big-headed, I was bloody good at my job.
Mm.
And I've got my
Very much.
clients phoning me up saying, "Well, have you recovered? Are you
Yeah,
coming back to work yet?" I'm like,
yeah.
I wish I could. I wish I could. They're like, come on, get back on your tools.
I
It's
was the
not
same.
easy.
We had the same thing. Look, we have painting companies, so it's a little bit more physical. There's a lot more physical work for everybody that's involved, sometimes on multiple story buildings and all sorts of different things.
Yeah,
So, um, I had to outsource all my work to other contractors and
yeah,
then just keep the contact with my client and then manage the work. I didn't do work for many, many years. And it took me to get back to business. It took me until 2019. So 7 years to properly get back to business, um, where I was on site every day, where I could manage being on site every day and being physical for a full day.
really.
Uh, so in that 7 years leading up to that, I was intermittently in and out of that business, attending to different jobs, etc. But because of my lack of consistency in my being able to turn up and my ability to work, there was a lot of clients that kind of just fizzled off and went elsewhere, which is completely makes sense. And
Well,
it,
when it's not you doing the job, it
yeah,
is it's out of your hands. But
yeah,
I built it up from nothing, and it breaks my heart. That
mm,
it could be at risk. I hope it's not, but you work hard all your life, and then
mm,
it's almost like I describe it to people as like you work your whole life putting stuff together, getting your dream this, dream that, and then it's like someone chucking a grenade into it,
mm,
just exploding overnight, just bang,
mm-hmm,
it's gone.
yeah.
That's how I describe it anyway, because
Are you
that's what I think
driving?
it is. No, no, because of the epilepsy,
Uh,
because of the seizures, I can't. I've got to go a year without one, which I say it seems to be under control now. But yeah, I'd love driving. I used to drive every day.
and then a
Um,
medical professional uh, will sign you off. How will that work?
Um, yeah, you have to have a year without a seizure, and then I think you apply to DVLA. I think you have to take a test, but my vision's going to be the biggest problem, I think.
Uh-huh.
Um, whether my field vision, will be sufficient enough to get the license back.
Hmm.
Um,
Were you wearing glasses before the injury?
yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
For reading those types of purposes, was it
yeah, yeah,
short-sightedness or
yeah. It's just for reading, really.
did they adjust your script at all for the condition that you have now, or does it not help?
No, it's more peripheral loss, really, than the prescription side of
Yeah.
things. I mean, I'm contacting a place up in London. There's a place in Germany called Savir or Sable. They do they do treatment for regenerating the blood flow to the damaged nerves. So I'm looking into stuff to see if there is any way you can treat it, but I don't know.
Is that a hyperbaric oxygen therapy thing or something?
No, it's not. It's not to do with hyperbaric.
Hmm.
It's sort of do blood flow to the nerves, damaged
Hmm.
nerves.
Yeah, there seems
Yes.
to be a lot of things that you can access if you've got the
Well, that's
capability.
the other thing. I spoke to an optician. They said there's so much. They said don't be too downhearted because there's so much going on with stem cells with the eyes as well.
Uh-huh.
In years to come, they could be able to do something with stem cells. So
Right.
that's changing every year. It's just developing and developing. So
Mm. Yeah, hyperbaric seems to be something that it's doing good work or seeing good results at the moment for people, but it's hard to access because it's really expensive in
is
the
it?
type of protocols that they're saying need to be that you need to do. There seems to be really difficult to access
Is there a
because
time? Is there a time window? Should it be done from like early days
no, there
for
isn't.
recovery?
What
No.
seems to be the situation is that particular guys that I interviewed from Aviv clinics, they've got a clinic. They've got one in Tel Aviv. They've got one in Dubai, I think. They've got one in Florida. Basically, what they do is they determine whether or not you have areas in your brain, which they call penumbras. They're areas that are under duress but still alive. Uh, they're perhaps not fully on board at the moment. And what they
Right.
aim to do is rehabilitate those penumbras of the brain, those suppose perhaps like sleepy or offline neurons by increasing blood flow and oxygenation through hypoxic events. So what they do is they
So
put you in.
am I right in thinking that that would be they would look at you to see if they could help you before they treat you?
Correct. Yeah. They do the full assessment. And then once they've done the assessment, they'll see on their MRIs or whether or not there's areas worth rehabilitating. So you
Oh,
don't do it
okay.
blindly. You don't just go there, hope for the best and see what you
Right.
get. Yeah.
Okay.
And and hyperbaric oxygen therapy for people like me who don't understand the science behind it, it's actually quite interesting situation. So what they do is they put you in the chamber and they
Yeah.
increase the oxygen level in the chamber. So your body is getting a larger volume of oxygen like than it would normally get. I don't know what the numbers are. And then what happens is they trick the brain into thinking that it's going into a hypoxic state, a state where it doesn't have enough oxygen, simply by changing the atmosphere in the chamber to normal external atmosphere. And the
Yeah.
brain thinks that it's losing the oxygen, and then it causes a biological response that somehow stimulates a particular hormone or therapy or something. It stimulates something in the brain that enables for blood flow and healing and new blood vessels to form around the penumbra and potentially kind of reactivate it with more blood flow and more oxygen,
Oh,
etc.
okay. And what
So,
sort of money are we talking about? You say it's
well,
expensive.
like they're talking about 50 grand US for
Really?
a 2 month, I think a 2 month protocol, which is 5 days a week, where um, you're doing you're in a chamber, a hyperbaric oxygen chamber, that's actually looks like a room. So you walk into it, you sit down, there might be a number of people in there. And then because they've scanned your brain and they know where the damage is, what they do is they try and get you to do exercises and particular tasks that will light up that part of the brain while you are in the
Oh,
chamber.
wow.
So they're firing that part of the brain, they're increasing the oxygen and then creating the fake hypoxic event. And then at the same time, what they're hoping to do is that rewires and creates new neurons in that space, new blood vessels, increases the blood flow, the oxygenation, and it's all happening while you're basically just sitting in a chair or standing up or whatever they need you to do to activate that part of the brain.
And
Yeah.
is that
So,
something in this country or is that abroad?
look, I've interviewed the guys that were in that part of the world. That's not to say that they're the only guys, but there's two interviews that I've done. on hyperbaric oxygen therapy, and they go through it in a lot of detail in the interviews, especially in the first one. I'll have those links in the show notes, and then I'll send you the links to those videos. It's really amazing, actually. While I'm on here and people are listening, I may as well just go and find it and tell people um, which episodes they are, so they can definitely find it. So it's a really fascinating thing, and I've had some stroke survivors who I've interviewed um, who have gone to their local beauty parlor and accessed the hyperbaric chamber at the local beauty parlor and done an hour in in the hyperbaric chamber. Um, I wouldn't recommend it in this particular scenario because
No.
of the fact that you need to know you need to be monitored. Your medical condition is needs to be taken seriously. But it's starting to become more accessible. Is basically what I'm trying to say. Now, episode 334 was the most recent one with Dr. Shay Efrati. So 334. You'll find it on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and all that kind of stuff. And then there was another one that I did earlier, which was episode 250, Hyperbaric Oxygen Therapy with Dr. Amir Hadani, both from the same organization, one from Tel Aviv, one from Florida. And then they go through in a fair amount of detail what the therapy achieves. So worth a listen.
I might have listened to him already, but I will go
Yeah,
back. I will go back definitely.
yeah,
Because
worth
say
a listen.
my eyesight's my biggest worry. If it can help that, I would be really interested.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
they'll probably be able to. It might give you some insights. And look, there might be a opportunity to find somebody more locally or in a
Yeah,
country closer or something.
yeah,
You look like you're starting to get tired now.
yeah. It's been long. Every day's tiring. It's yeah.
Yeah. What time is it there now?
Um, it's 5 to 11.
Are you usually in bed by now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh. How far beyond your bedtime have you gone?
Uh, I usually go to bed by about 8 o'clock, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
yeah,
glad you stayed up, but at the same time, I would
yeah.
have been happy to make some changes to our schedule to make sure we got you in bed on time.
Yeah, no, I was definitely going to stay up for you. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's been 18 months. Things are improving. You wish they were improving a little bit quicker. Things getting better.
yeah. It will never
S-
be quick enough, Bill.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. Sport, your teammates and that, have you gone and seen them play or hung out with them at all?
Um, I haven't gone back to see. I don't watch. I've always played. I hate watching.
Uh-huh.
I will definitely skate again. I don't think I'll play hockey again, but I skating is one thing I loved, and I'll be back on a pair of skates definitely,
Hmm.
whether it be ice skates or roller skates. Even when I was in hospital, I felt like if someone put a pair of skates on me, I reckon I could skate. I know I can't walk, but I could skate. I could skate better than I could walk when I was younger. So yeah,
Yeah. Something
yeah,
to look forward to. Your son,
definitely.
was he 11 then or is he 11 now?
He's 11 now. He was 10 when it happened. Yeah.
Yeah. Does he have any kind of idea of what's going on, or do you know if have you guys chatted about it? Where's he at with it?
Um, he's amazing, really. He's so resilient. Yeah, can be proud of really. There was a lot of books and stuff we got from the stroke people for him to read when it happened. Someone I love's had a stroke and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Some really good stuff. Um, Yeah, it's something we'll talk about later on. Um, but yeah, it's been a big life changing thing for everyone. And
Mm,
and the biggest thing when I woke up and when I was in the rehab, I was more sad, not necessarily sad about myself, but I just didn't want him or my wife to miss out on their life because of me, to be honest. Because, okay, I'm not going to be able to have much of a life at the moment, but I just didn't want them to miss out on holidays and things and him growing up.
mhm,
And he won't. I'll make sure he won't. But yeah, that was my biggest concern, to be honest.
mhm. And the relationship ended amicably by the sound of things.
Yeah. And I want to see as much as I can of my son. So we'll
Mm,
keep it that way.
yeah.
We went together, the three of us bowling tonight. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So if we can do stuff like that and I see him more, then yes. Yeah. Yeah. And it was great.
Yeah. That's a blessing as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you did you consider your mortality? Did you go to that place? Are you the type of guy that contemplates these types of things before the stroke, perhaps? And is it different now after the stroke?
Um, Never really thought about it before, but yeah, of course now, yeah. You always worry about having another one, but
Mm-hmm.
um I'm I'm definitely a more educated person in it now.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean that night if I'd have thought about my vision changes, I would have driven straight to the hospital. But you know, the be fast, you know, everyone talks about the be fast, but the
Yeah.
vision, most of the people I speak to, the vision wasn't one of the
Impacted.
signs, but it is one of the signs.
Yeah. How big can you make the acronym? That's the issue.
It
Uh,
is, yeah. Yeah, how big can you make it?
and effective. I know that the BFAST tends, I hear that the BFAST tends to cover about 80% of the people who have a stroke. And that's kind of why they use it. In Australia, we don't use the BE, we just use the FAST, FAST, face, arms, speech, time.
Yeah,
And the BE is used in a lot of other countries overseas, but not in Australia.
yeah. I don't think the BE was used here a while back. I think it was something sort
Hmm.
of new. I think it was just, yeah.
Perhaps
But
that they are expanding the acronym. Maybe, maybe they're expanding it.
the other thing I find quite hard is the fact that if someone has a stroke in a public place, um, and they've got aphasia, how can they tell someone that they're having a stroke if they
Mm-hmm.
can't speak? Um, that must be awful.
Yeah.
Should there be some sort of sign language
Well, the thing
to
about
say they're
aphasia
having a
is
stroke?
you may have a form of aphasia where you can't express yourself either way. It wouldn't
Mm,
it wouldn't matter. It's about having awareness in the community, like, and that's the hard thing, right? It's like trying to make people aware of what a stroke looks like or might look like. Okay, well then a stroke, according to me, looks exactly like the way I look. It didn't look at all. My stroke wasn't fast at all. There was no balance issues. There was no eye issues. There was no face, arm, speech issues. There was nothing. It was just tingling on my left side, and it didn't stop
yeah,
me from doing anything. So I went to the chiropractor. So I was like, what does a stroke even look like? You can't really determine that. But for the majority of the people, the BFAST will cover a lot of those conditions. Um, balance, you know, that could be a million things as well. I was sick about a week ago for a couple of days, and I was
really.
dizzy. I was dizzy. I was like, well, the world was spinning, everything was spinning, and I thought I was having another stroke, which is ridiculous because the condition that caused mine is not there. The blood
Mm.
vessel that was in my head that leaked, they removed,
Mm.
and it's been completely resolved. But my instinct, it wasn't my instinct, it was my anxiety said, you might be having another stroke, mate. Like,
Yeah.
what is this? Anyhow, it settled down and it was good in a couple of days. I was just having like a stomach bug or something impacting me. Um, so that's the thing. Like, I've also spoken to a lot of stroke survivors who say they thought it was a headache or they have migraines all the time and they just put it down to a migraine, took something to calm the pain and went to bed. Um, and then there's people who have had a stroke in bed while sleeping in the middle of the night.
Yeah, they've had,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just the luck of the draw. It's like you've got there's no hope in trying to like capture all of the versions of it. With heart attack,
Mm.
there's some signs that are pretty obvious, that are pretty universal. Pain down your left side, pain in your back, um, heaviness in the chest, all those types of things. There's a couple of things that are very common across the board that you can say are that might be a heart attack. Let's get into action. Let's do something about it. Um, but with stroke, it's just the luck of the draw, man. And hopefully, everyone who is going to have a stroke is able to receive, access help really, really rapidly. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Um,
That is the one thing I have learned is
yeah.
get somewhere as quick as possible.
But your
And I didn't.
teammates, yeah, your teammates might benefit from knowing about the BEFAST message. Uh,
Yeah.
so that could be something that you could teach them. And I know one of the sports where there's a lot of stroke is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yes. Well, this is what I was saying about someone grabbing me around the neck. I
Yeah.
don't think I'd, you know, would need that now. That could be
Mm.
dangerous because if it's a weak
Yeah.
artery, then yeah.
And
No, I
then,
have heard all about that. I've listened to the episode
yeah,
about
guys
the
getting choked out,
yeah,
during training
crazy.
to practice getting choked out.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Um, Tell me, what do you reckon has been the hardest thing about stroke for you?
Fatigue and patience.
Hmm.
The only thing I will say as well, Bill, is if anyone's experiencing it, I would give it a good year. I spent a lot of money on gadgets, physio, um, trying to fix things, but you have got to give it a good year of patience before.
Mm,
There's no quick fix,
no.
you've got to allow time
Yeah.
before. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you need kind of to get through that acute phase
Yes, yes, yes.
and let things settle and see where you're at.
I was so desperate to try and find something to get me well quicker.
Mm, mm,
Tried everything. I booked into other inpatient rehab places, paid lots of money.
mm.
But I should have just waited for 6 months to a year before.
Yeah, that's okay. You worked it out. Um, so what has stroke taught you? I mean, I know patience is on the list, but like, has there been anything? Have you had an aha moment? Has there been something that like you've gone, uh-huh, okay, I get it now.
Um, no, I don't think so.
There's nothing profound. That's basically where I'm headed, like a profound lesson.
No, I can't think of any.
Yeah,
No.
that's all right. What do you want to tell people who are listening? I imagine you joined the podcast to share your story. Hopefully, it helps somebody, motivates somebody, uh, has somebody relate to you. They're probably listening. What do you want to say?
Just be patient. Um, have positive people around you. That does help.
Mm,
And seek peer support. Peer support people for me have been brilliant. I've had a lot of people that have gone through 10 years, 13 years of stroke recovery, and they give you so much hope when you see them come out the other side of it. I know people that playing tennis, playing football. I know one lady she had a stroke on a ski slope in Switzerland. She's back skiing now. You know, she sends me clips of her on ski slopes. And it's amazing. You know, and that's through her hard work getting back there. And it's so nice to see people doing stuff like that, because you can do it. You can see people do it.
Yeah. It's definitely worth aiming for, doing,
The
having that goal.
hardest bit is not knowing whether you're going to come out of it
Mm,
recovered. You know, I really do hope, for my sake and my son's sake, that I do recover so that we can enjoy each other's company
mm,
and do things that we used to do. But as I say, there's no written fact that you're going to recover 100% again. Yes, you can put a lot of hard work into it, but no one will say yes you will or no you won't.
mm.
And that is really tough. And I don't think I'll accept the fact that I might not recover. I find that really hard. I'll just keep on being positive and just
Working towards it.
working it. Sorry?
Working towards it.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, fair enough. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for reaching out to be on the podcast and staying up way past your bedtime.
No, I
Um,
appreciate you giving me your time. Definitely.
you're, yeah, you're welcome. And I look forward to hearing from you down the track, and see how things have progressed.
Thank you. Thank you.
That brings us to the end of this heartfelt episode with Adam. From a split-second neck injury that led to a carotid artery dissection to vision loss, seizures, and the slow climb through rehabilitation, Adam's journey is a reminder of the raw truth and resilience found in stroke recovery. If this conversation resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, or leave a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And remember, even just listening through the ads is a small way you can make a big difference in keeping this podcast going. The fact that people are now discovering recovery after stroke in hospital, sometimes just days after their diagnosis, is the most powerful outcome I could have hoped for. That kind of early connection and support didn't exist for me in 2012, but it does now. And it exists because of you, the listeners, the guests, and everyone who takes a moment to engage and share. This movement only continues with your support. So if you'd like to help me keep the podcast going and growing, please visit patreon.com/recoveryafterstroke and become part of this mission to bring hope, connection, and insight to stroke survivors around the world. Thanks again for tuning in wherever you are on your recovery journey. Just know you're not alone and your best days may still be ahead. I'll catch you in the next episode.
Importantly, we present many podcasts designed to give you an insight and understanding into the experiences of other individuals. Opinions and treatment protocols discussed during any podcast are the individual's own experience, and we do not necessarily share the same opinion, nor do we recommend any treatment protocol discussed. All content on this website and any linked blog, podcast, or video material controlled this website or content is created and produced for informational purposes only and is largely based on the personal experience of Bill Gasiamis. The content is intended to complement your medical treatment and support healing. It is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice and should not be relied on as health advice. The information is general and may not be suitable for your personal injuries, circumstances, or health objectives. Do not use our content as a standalone resource to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease for therapeutic purposes or as a substitute for the advice of a health professional. Never delay seeking advice or disregard the advice of a medical professional, your doctor, or your rehabilitation rehabilitation program based on our content. If you have any questions or concerns about your health or medical condition, please seek guidance from a doctor or other medical professional. If you are experiencing a health emergency or think you might be, call 000 if in Australia, or your local emergency number immediately for emergency assistance, or go to the nearest hospital emergency department. Medical information changes constantly. While we aim to provide current, quality information in our content, we do not provide any guarantees and assume no legal liability or responsibility for the accuracy, currency, or completeness of the content. If you choose to rely on any information within our content, you do so solely at your own risk. We are careful with links we provide. However, third-party links from our website are followed at your own risk, and we are not responsible for any information you find there.